Well, hello, y'all. This is Market Explainer. We are the business news podcast. I want to tell you about his business, Big Man Gear. Big Man Gear is a fun brand. Fun as defined by the big man.
It's true.
You can go, it's meme t-shirts, man. It's not that hard to figure out.
It's not that hard to figure out. You go to bigmangear.com, you pick out a t-shirt that you like, and you order it, and you get it from Amazon in a day.
That's correct.
Not that
I don't
hard.
know if you get it in a day,
Enjoy
you
it.
might get it in a
Yeah.
couple of days, but,
Whatever it is.
Right. So, this next story, which is super fun, Jollibee. Do you know what Jollibee is, big man?
I do not. I didn't until you sent this story, so why don't you inform me what it actually is?
So, Jollibee is a Filipino fast food franchise.
I can see how your mind got those mixed up, though. Canadian and
No,
Filipino.
sorry. The first sentence in the story from Next Shark is 4 Canadian provinces, and that's just got stuck in there. It's a Filipino fast food franchise.
Okay, but
I do a ton of business in the
what
Philippines.
kind of fast food franchise? Is it a burger joint? Is it a Filipino
thing.
food? Whatever that is.
It's its own deal. Jollibee has in the West, it has a cult following. I know this because I was visiting some friends in Chicago. They're like, "We have a Jollibee," and I was like, "Okay."
Okay.
They're like, "So do you want to
Is that
go?"
like a Whataburger? Is that
That's
what
the
is
thing.
it?
Is like they have just these weird. And for those less than familiar with Filipino culture, there's a lot of traditional Asian vibes, but they were conquered by the Spanish, right? So there's a lot of weird. I shouldn't say weird, just different, interesting stuff.
So Asian, Spanish.
I don't know how to explain it. Okay. I know.
I
some
went
of
out
their
this
stuff
because
is
I read the articles Danny sent over, whatever. But I went out this from a strictly franchise-based, fast food-based kind of thing. I read 2 different articles on this.
Yeah.
I still can't answer what kind of food these. I just need to go to. I didn't. It made sense. I should have just Googled it and went to their restaurant page.
Went to
or
their
whatever.
website and looked at their stuff.
Whoever's writing these new articles, though, is probably just as confused as I am because they didn't mention it in their thing. The whole point of this, though, is whatever kind of restaurant food that they make, they must be making money hands over fist.
That's correct.
Because their expansion in the last couple of years is insane.
And their plan to continue to expand includes 234 more stores in North America, which is the United States, Canada, and Mexico. I don't think they're moving into Mexico. I think it's mostly going to be California and parts of Canada.
But also include Times Square, downtown Chicago. These are not cheap places to get into. Opening up a fast food joint in Times Square is a big deal. I mean, you've got to be a big company at that point. You know what I mean?
And they've mostly gone into areas where there's a high concentration of Filipino Americans. Makes a ton of sense because they can build kind of an audience rather with people who are a little more familiar with it. Here's what else is interesting. In the Philippines, JFC, which owns Jollibee, operates Burger King and Panda Express in the Philippines, but worldwide they own the Coffee Bee and Tea Leaf, which they acquired back in 2019. And they own a majority stake, which they purchased in 2018, of Smashburger. So the holdings company that owns Jollibee they're not like a joke. They're a real player.
Well, I mean, that's $450 million in acquisitions in the last 3 years. Right. And that, I mean, they've got to be making money, right? They're expanding, they're making money. The whole in Filipino heavy neighborhoods and demographics and stuff like this. Right. Again, I think you've got a company that's not only growing, but growing in what I would call their sweet spot, right?
Right.
Hey, people, and again, I'm assuming this based on the number of franchises they have. If you're from the Philippines, like actually from the Philippines, you probably know what this company is. It'd be like coming to Texas and saying, hey, where's the nearest Whataburger, right?
Right.
I automatically know what you're talking about. They're putting Whataburgers everywhere you have southern fat rednecks, right? They're going to put a Whataburger down there. And then this way, they're going to find the group of, densely populated Filipinos and be like, hey.
Right. So, big man, one of the things that they make, and when they finally open up a franchise Maybe we'll in Texas somewhere. Maybe we'll drive out and check it out, and we'll do a little video about it. We probably won't because I really like the videos.
Yeah, but Jollibee though. I mean,
The
would
Jolly spaghetti.
Jollibee work in Texas? I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe it does.
There's a
Do we
large,
have a densely populated Filipino following in?
on the
I would imagine in Houston or San
no,
Antonio. I would
it's not
imagine.
in Houston actually. It's in down on the border.
Like Brownwood,
It's in the valley.
Yeah, that kind of stuff
It's
down
in the valley.
So maybe down in the valley, again, if that's their business model. So I'm not saying.
Hey man,
specific.
I'll take a ride down there because when I go to get my prescriptions in Mexico, up the border. My favorite thing, and I watched a couple of videos in prep for this. This is my favorite thing that they have on the menu. It's called Jolly Spaghetti. It's a sweet style. It's they say sweet style sauce, but it's really ketchup. And it has ham, ground meat, and hot dog on spaghetti. So that's
whoa, ham. So I get is the food in this case? You know how like in because Hawaii is where Hawaii is.
Right.
Not a whole lot of cattle in Hawaii and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of recipes in Hawaii that rely on Spam or some kind of canned meat because it's shipped over to Hawaii, right? Is Philippines, is like hot dogs, is that one of those things where we don't have.
So here's what I can tell you from having a lot of Filipino friends in college and high school. They do love Spam. They love Spam just like the Hawaiians love Spam. I couldn't tell you about the rest of it. I don't know. But I do know like a lot of their I couldn't tell you. I don't want to be too like sure of myself here, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's just the way it is because that sounds like college level ramen, ketchup, hot dogs.
And so if you look at I'm on their website looking at they got burgers, but they also got a lot of stuff that feels like it might be from KFC. They got a bucket of chicken. And I do know my Filipino friends do like chicken also. They like fried chicken. So
I'm down for fried chicken, but
I'm not. I hate fried chicken. So
I'm not eating hot dogs in my spaghetti at this level of my
with ketchup sauce.
No, I am not.
I can't wait to buy the biggest size they have and take 2 bites and be like, I can't do this.
Like, no, that just seems wrong. You should not be putting hot dogs. If you're more than 25 years old, you should not be putting hot dogs.
I'm sorry, if you're more than 13, okay, and there hasn't been an emergency where your parents had to leave the house, and you have to make ramen with ketchup and hot dogs. That's the only time anybody should eat that.
There's a lot of college kids out there that do weird things, and you know what I mean. But
they're stupid, and no one's going to college anymore. Basically,
I agree.
Nonetheless, I just thought it was really interesting that in today's market, a company that's as big as Jollibee, as international as Jollibee, believes that there is room for another fast food player across the country, and they're selling out the big bucks to do it.
Well, in rapid it doesn't look like they're bringing. I actually looked. It doesn't look like they're taking on any big debt to do it. They're not sacrificing the farm for the expansion. I mean, they're taking out loans, but they're not leveraging their entire company to do this. Again, their profit margins must be massive because, and if you're selling hot dog ketchup spaghetti, I'm sure your profit margins are huge. Is all I'm saying. So maybe we need to look into Jollibee Austin.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll be the face of their southern expansion.
You don't want my face to part of any fast food franchise.